Let's begin with the most pressing question, Mr. Gachagua. Over 15 Kenyans died during the protests on Wednesday. Your name, sir, has come up again and again from members of parliament, from governors, even from security sources, as someone who bankrolled the elements that turned violent during the protests. Did you fund the protest, Mr. Gachagua?
First and foremost, let me take this opportunity to send my condolences to the families of the 15 young people who are shot by police. Let me also, say sorry to all those who are injured, and let me also empathize with the business people who lost billions of shillings to looting and other activities that took place. Michelle, I don't have an answer to such a question because it is totally misinformed, and government people want to run away from the truth. And this government continues to sink in more trouble because of burying their head in the sand. Anytime Kenyans have expressed themselves about their dissatisfaction with the way the country is being run, the way the country is being governed, it is said that those people have been financed, they have been mobilized, they have been incited, and therefore they will never address the real problem. What happened on Wednesday, Michelle, was the first anniversary of the Gen Z massacre of 2024 that was presided over by William Ruto and executed by Kithure Kindiki. And you know for sure how many people died after very serious abductions and extrajudicial killings. The Gen Z protests of 2024 was a spontaneous reaction by young people protesting, the issues of the Finance Bill 2024, mismanagement of the country, corruption, and general impunity that has been exhibited by this administration. The president then, under the pressure of the Gen Z, undertook to address all the issues that the Gen Zs had raised. But once he was able to bring Raila on his side, and he got the political comfort that with Raila Odinga he doesn't need anybody else and nobody else can threaten his rule, he backtracked on all the issues that have been raised. And a lot of impunity has been exhibited in this country. And when it came to the first year anniversary, the young people once more came out. Michelle, the Gen Z protests do not need anybody to finance them. The Gen Zs are leaderless, they are tribalist, they have no structure, they have no organization. And again, Michelle, I think it is really playing around with the people of Kenya to imagine that Rigathi Gachagua or anybody else can coordinate activities in 26 counties at the same time. And the issue is this, the question one must ask yourself, and that is why the government must stop taking people for granted. If these activities were planned, we have the National Intelligence Service. Where were they? If they did not know, then they slept on the job. They are not supposed to be in office. If they knew and did nothing about it, again, they are guilty of failing to stop anarchy and violence. But from where I sit, Michelle, the protests were very peaceful. The Gen Zs were not violent. They had water, they had smartphones. The violence was brought about by infiltration by Goons who looted shops, escorted by police. You have seen videos all over, thugs creating mayhem as police watch. You have seen videos, some thugs arriving in police vehicles, So, and as we speak today, many protesters were arrested, others were killed. Not a single goon was shot or arrested. As we speak, this happened on Wednesday. Today is Friday. All the people who looted shops, videos are there, the images are clear. None has been arrested.
All right. Let me just go back to what you said. There are allegations that these goons that you say infiltrated these protests or goons that and your allies have been mentioned adversely. You've seen the Interior Cabinet Secretary mention that they do have intelligence, that this was an attempted coup. We've seen calls for your arrest following that statement. Mr.
I don't know how fragile this government is. that a CS Interior is walking in the streets of Nairobi in the morning, and you are saying that was an attempted coup. If they had intelligence that goons had been paid by Gachagua or anybody else, why didn't they arrest these goons? If these were my goons, I want to tell you, Michelle, today they would have been shot dead. They would be in custody. Why, if they had intelligence that Gachagua or anybody else for that matter had paid goons to come and cause chaos in Nairobi, why didn't they act on that intelligence? Why did they supervise the goons wreaking havoc in the streets of Nairobi? How did they allow goons to go to a police station unarmed and take over a police station? And they had the intelligence. I think the CS Interior must respect the people of Kenya. People are not that stupid, you know? It is very evident that in Nairobi, the real goons came after 6 p.m. and downtown, River Road, Nyamakema, Taveta Road, Lithuri Avenue. The havoc, the looting was done in darkness under police supervision. Why were these guns not shot? Why were these thugs not shot? Why were they not arrested? And if anybody had funded them, the first evidence would have been to arrest those people, and then they can give information as to who had funded them. Right. Why would a government let goons create mayhem under their supervision, under their very eyes, for a whole day, for the whole night without taking any action? Why they did not do it?
You mentioned rightfully, Mr. Gachagua, that Kenyans are not stupid people. What Kenyans want is answers because lives were lost. But what we're seeing is a blame game. You blaming those who infiltrated the goons, who infiltrated the protests, the government blaming the opposition. Your name has come up. So if you say the protests were infiltrated by goons, who planted them? Do you have names? Do you have evidence? Have you recorded a statement?
I am not government. It's not my responsibility to stop goons from going to Nairobi. It is not my responsibility to arrest goons. That is the responsibility of government. These are people who are paid by taxpayers to make sure that they protect life and property. It is not the work of Gachagua to go to the streets of Nairobi and protect life and property. I don't have such capacity. That is the work of the government. And they cannot shift blame and start saying, no, these goons were organized by so and so. Why did you allow them to terrorize Kenyans? Why did you allow them to loot property? What have you done since they did that? You know, even as you are looking for whoever could have sent them, why didn't you deal with them on the spot? Because you have seen videos, Michelle. Goons raiding supermarkets as police watch. You have seen videos, goons having conversation with police officers. You saw during the demonstrations against the death of Albert Ojwang, goons singing praises in the praise